hanging with some cold killers. I ain't never backed down or ran from no. I ain't sat down yet. Stand to go gorilla. Even if I'm all alone, I stand at folks and tell them jump. Pippin' don't get no realer. 5'9" with the soul of a 6'4". I separated the face, paralyzed from the waist down. From the real stand-up guys of the A-town. Can't even look me in my eyes, push your face down. I'm out of jail, what you gotta say now? Motivation's faking only gonna inspire. Motivation. All you hating is fuel to my fire. Motivation. Fighting on the crown, salt dry. It's motivation. Hey, but I ain't slowing down and I ain't stopping. Motivation. Yeah, that don't stop my show. Motivation. You ain't know I don't stop, I grow. It's motivation. Sucker can't make me suffer. Just make me stronger and make me tough. It's motivation in a box against happy to see. Put anybody on top. Any rebel to
Takes a curveball to straightaway center field. Serrano to the fence. This one is over the wall and gone. Phelps has done it again. Georgia strikes first on his second home run in as many games for the freshman Trey Phelps.
That's what you call pitch recognition right there, folks.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to the Off the Bench podcast. I'm Daniel Ball. I'm joined as always by my co-host, my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Jim Cross. Jim, it's a good day. It is finally February, and we're talking college baseball. And when I say finally February, you know what that means? It simply means that college baseball is happening this month. It's starting.
11.
Yep. 11 days, baby. 11 days. And I can't wait. And what a way to get us motivated for this episode. But the new hype video, great job, bro. I mean, that's legit. But
I mean,
it's not
we doing it, an Atlanta born guest had to go TI. He made it easy to find bomb clips. He got a lot of them.
I'm telling you, man. And let's just get to it. I mean, our guest tonight is none other than Trey Phelps himself from Georgia baseball. He's joining us. He's a guy that is high on the draft boards. He's hits bombs. And let me tell you, Jim, if you go back and watch that clip, the center fielder was mad that he was mad. I don't even think he had a chance to catch that ball, but let's be real. That's one of many.
That was the reason I picked that clip.
Yeah, one of many that Trey hit last year, and obviously one of many more to come. But Trey, before we get into your story, we got bills to pay around here, so we got to make sure we plug the sponsors and show the love to the people that show us the love. First off, Chinook Ceadery, 8 flavors, mild to wild. I'm telling you right now. Go to the snack aisle of your convenience store, your gas station, your grocery store, whichever one's your favorite. Go in there, go to the snack aisle. I'm telling you, don't act like y'all don't know where it's at. Pick up the best bag of sunflower seeds, smokehouse barbecue, cinnamon toast, whatever you prefer. Just get a flavor. Unless it's dill pickle, then don't tell me. You can get that one, just don't tell me because that's not my thing. But college baseball season, go ahead and stock up, get your flavors for whatever temperature, whatever game that you're feeling, because you're going to need a lot going forward here. Old Dominic Distillery, Jim. I mean, does it get any better than Old Dominic? I mean, you go into the tasting room, you've sampled them all, you know what it is. Whiskey, bourbon, vodka, gin, you name it, they got it. Stop in, get a taste, get a tour, and always tell them in Off the Bench sent you because it just makes us look good. But I promise
I'll tell you a perfect plug and a segue. I'm gonna go right off there to get to Trey. Daniel, I told you earlier, I was driving by the gas station. I saw our man JJ, who works at Old Dominic, but also is the best umpire in the SEC. He doesn't even know Trey's coming on tonight. I pull up on him. Anyway, we start talking ball. He goes, you know what? You know who I think is going to be the SEC player of the year? And I said, who's that? And first he goes, Phillips. And I said, Phillips? Who's Phillips? He goes, Phelps from Georgia. And I was like, all right. I was like, he's our guest tonight. And he's like, for real? And so coincidentally just said that. He botched his name. It's all good. He's an umpire. They make mistakes, right? We've learned this. But Trey, man, I'll be honest with you. JJ is, when we talk about knowing talent, he's told me and Daniel who are going to be the guys every season. And Daniel, has he ever been wrong?
No, he's rarely wrong, and he's rarely misses strike calls. So you know, if he K's you, Trey, just go ahead and take it because he's pretty good. He's good, pretty good behind the
But
dish.
Trey, you know these umpires they don't play favorites. I mean, they can be the ones that definitely will actually hold the better players accountable. But you know, just me telling you that story, just first meeting you, you know, what's it mean like to hear an umpire just start my Monday morning telling me you was going to be player of the year?
Yeah. Well, first off, thank y'all for having me on. Taking the time to have me on tonight, and two, and it's definitely exciting to hear, especially going into the season. Kind of that, like, I guess the guy calling your game realizes how important you take the strike zone and the batter's box. Being able to go every single day and focus on that little thing and hear it from one of the best umpires in the SEC, not directly, of course, but through you guys is a blessing, of course.
I'll put it to you this way: on our episode of Pros and Joes the other day, we had Griffin Herring from LSU, now with the Yankees, and Eric Razelman from formerly of LSU with the Yankees. And it was funny. We were in Arkansas last year. You had Hagen Smith and Luke Holman going head to head, and you had Griffin coming in relief. And I was staying at the hotel with JJ, and he came out and he goes, "Let me tell you something. Of those three pitchers, Griffin Herring is the most pro ready." At that time, everybody was like, Griffin's going to come back another year. He's not ready. Ends up going in the 5th round to the Yankees, and they say exactly what he said. They said his slider was big league ready. They wanted him now. And, I mean, that came from JJ before anyone else. And so feel like, you know, he's a good judge of talent. But before we get in your story, I got one more. I would be remiss Super Bowl week if we didn't talk Super Bowl, but not the game itself. We like to talk music with our guest. If you could have any halftime artist, anybody you want, it's your concert, who you having?
Lil Wayne.
And I mean, it's in New Orleans. That actually should have been who it was. Like, Daniel, we haven't really talked about this topic, but how do you not have Lil Wayne?
I mean, that now that you mention it, I'm connecting the dots. And what's crazy is, did he not just put out that he's coming out with a new album in 2025?
Mm-hmm.
What's even crazier, I didn't plan on talking about this because I didn't know he was going to say Lil Wayne. Let me tell you something, Trey. This man right here across from me, when we were 15 years old, used to call and leave voicemails rapping the Hot Boys back before Lil Wayne became a solo artist.
You don't even know about how hot the block was, do you?
But I thought about that.
That's my DJ.
But for real, you remember you and Patrick used to leave me voicemails rapping.
That used to be my calling card. That used to be my thing.
We're so old. Damn,
I've grown up since then, but
I don't know. But look, that's a lie because Trey, we went to visit his school that he was a principal of. I don't know, what was that, 6-7 years ago before he got into this game. Principal of a middle school. He goes to show me their new sound system in the gymnasium, and he plays Chicken Head by Project Pat. So no, he has not grown up.
Hey, you're right. You only get one of these lives, so you better live it to the fullest and have as much fun while you can. But
we got to move on from talking about you. We got to get into Trey.
It's not about me tonight. It's about Trey.
Hey, you know, we never do talk about you. That was a fun little segment.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But Trey, man, we got to get to you. Obviously, in Athens now, but you're ATL, born and bred. What is it like being from Atlanta, like being from the hotbed? Like, they're like, anytime people talk about baseball, one of the biggest places they talk about is Atlanta, East Cobb, the whole area itself. So what is it like, being from there? And like, if I was to go to Atlanta with so many things to do, what's the one thing you're like, you definitely got to do this?
Yeah. I mean, definitely in the baseball world, being from Atlanta. I mean, the last, 10 years, I would say probably less than that, maybe 7-8 years, just like the little metropolitan area of Atlanta in general has just been produced an insane amount of talent. And it still has another wave of guys coming through, like the 2026 class, 2025, even younger than that. They have generational talent coming up in that area. So I think it was really just kind of cool that we all know each other. I mean, we're close. It's past us just being good. We kind of have a relationship off the field also. Like The 2022 class was special. The 2023 class was special. 2021 class was special. 2020 class was special. So it was just.
I mean, Trey, our first guest was Cameron James from Mississippi State.
Okay.
You know, obviously big time in Mississippi. Daniel, if you remember, he said he went to Team Georgia, and he said if you were going to get better over the summer, you had to play your summer ball in Georgia.
Oh, for sure. And that was another thing. It was like, I mean, once I got to junior year of high school, it was like I lived 20 minutes from East Cobb and 20 minutes from Lake Point. So it was like everything was like near me. So it's not really an excuse for me not to be playing baseball.
Definitely. What's the one thing that you would say folks got to do in Atlanta? And, you know, because you can get washed out very quickly. Like if you go to visit, just because of how much it's grown, like there's a lot of things to do. I mean, people talk about going to Buckhead and going to Braves games and stuff like that. But like when you go home, what's the one thing that you're diving back into?
That's a great question. I have to eat American Deli, but like I have that here in Athens, so
okay.
It's a wing spot.
They don't have Pat Beverly wings there, right? Okay, just
or the Lou in Magic City.
Yeah.
No, that's the Magic City wing. No, I've never been to Magic City.
Good answer.
Well, speaking of Magic City, Jim's been to Atlanta before, and
not there.
He didn't go to Magic City, but I mean, he had a good time, Jim.
When it comes to college baseball in Atlanta, man, I got PTSD. Trey, look, we were early in our days, only year 2. Got the privilege and blessing to take a couple of our national champions to Atlanta to do an event, and Dylan DeLucia, the most outstanding player, man, he was having a good time, and he wanted me to go home in the middle of the night, and I said, I'm not leaving you because you're under my watch. Like anything you do is in off the bench. I ended up messaging Daniel the next day, like 10 a.m. I ain't been to sleep yet, and I thought that might be the end of it, Trey. No. We got night 2. I ain't sleep until day 3. And I sent Daniel a picture of what I look like. And if you can picture death, that was it, man. I mean, 37 years old, chasing around a 21-year-old, having his best life, living it up as a national champion. That was a tough assignment, Daniel. It went from fun to responsibility real quick.
I mean, everything was great until it wasn't. And at day 3, it was no longer great anymore.
I think my favorite thing I got to do, though, Trey, is every time we would go to like skip a line to get in a place, I would flex the picture of him holding the most outstanding player trophy. And they were like, oh, come in. So that was nice just to do that little flex and just watch us skip all these lines. But then we get in and it got a little rough. So, but I did my job, Daniel. He never got in trouble.
There we go.
I mean, there's more to being a mentor and older statesman in the group besides making sure you don't go to jail.
Well, luckily the next year with Guidry and Herring in New Orleans, ironically in New Orleans where all the trouble can be had, Daniel, 0 problems, didn't have to babysit, was able to ride in smooth. So, that may have just been a one-off.
Yeah. I mean, you do have manners somewhere deep down inside. I mean, they pop out every now and then, but Trey, we got to get into your family, man. As we do our research, we noticed that your aunt was a baller. You got to tell me about this. Like,
yeah.
Could she beat Jim? I know she could.
No, I want to know if she can beat him. Forget me. I ain't good.
Yeah, no, she could beat me. I want to say like she can't. I mean, she can.
So
she's too tall, too skilled. I mean, like I
especially
can't.
If you went prime versus prime, huh?
Yeah, I mean she's 6'7". I mean, I can't even contest the shots if I wanted to.
Man, that's the genetics that we're talking about. Like,
if she missed though,
it's over.
Yeah, because
that's your aunt. Was your mom athletic too?
Yes, she ran track at Clemson.
Oh man, this dude's got all the genes. Okay.
Well, I mean, I want the speed gene. I didn't get the really, really fast speed gene.
I mean, you ran track. I mean, she ran track at Clemson, so we've seen you on the bases. When you hit the ball over the fence, you don't have to run that fast. I mean, let's be real. I
Yeah.
mean, if that's the plan, that would be my plan.
Yeah,
I didn't have speed. Yeah, I'd rather just jog them and trot them.
Look, the athleticism is there. We're going to get into it later, Daniel. But this man, we bragged on Charlie. Look, we bragged on Charlie when he came on the show. Played 3 spots in one weekend. I'm not impressed anymore. This dude played 5 spots on the field.
They said, "Oh man, we need somebody to play the outfield." Trey said, "I got it. No worries." Matter of fact, everybody else just sit down. I got this. I just do it all. I got this. Put me at short. I'll run the whole infield. Put me in center. I'll run the whole outfield. It's all good. I'll take care of it all. But Trey, obviously February, Black History Month, less than 6% of Major League Baseball players are Black.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a baseball player growing up, or was there like any? I just find it hard to believe, like how is it that we're only at 6%? There's so many good athletes that are African American. And is it the baseball? Is it like, what is it? How did you get into baseball, more importantly? And do you see a rise in African American males getting into the sport of baseball now that you were in it and you're following through it and you're one of the best players in the country?
Yeah. Actually, my first baseball game I played in, I was 2 years old. My dad was the president at our park ball, and he let me play with the 3-year-old team, and just kind of never really left it from then. And but to touch on that, the other thing, I think, it is growing rapidly in the African American community, especially now. I mean, that first huge wave is starting to come through, especially like Mike Harris, like Lawrence Butler, like guys like that, Seth Mullins, Akil Badu, just guys are starting to fill it up. But like I was saying, like over the next 5, maybe 5 years, if that, it'll probably shoot up to about 15, 20 for sure.
Who was that guy that you watched growing up that maybe inspired you in the MLB? Was there one?
I like Jimmy Rollins.
Jimmy.
That Phillies team was nice.
That was a really nice team.
Who is it? Chase Utley,
Ryan Howard,
Jason Worth, Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins.
Who's the pitcher? What's his name?
Cole Hamels.
Yep.
I mean, those dudes. Who else was it?
Shane Victorino.
And God, what?
That team
Holiday.
More titles.
Roy Halladay.
Carlos.
I mean, it shows how hard it is to win like back-to-back titles, because even that team, as stacked as they were, didn't.
That's crazy. It's tough. You're definitely right. Trey, you play baseball for Team USA, the 18 and under team. What is it like when you put on red, white, and blue and it says USA across the chest? Like, it's got to mean more, right?
For sure. I mean, it's just known like it's one of one. Like, you can't really like fake it or just like it's not like so many people that I guess go through that situation. It's totally handpicking. It's a wide variety from the whole nation, whole nation, and you're playing for a purpose, a different purpose, a bigger purpose at that point. It's like, like right now, of course, I'm playing for the G on my chest and my team and the university, but it's like at that point, I'm kind of playing for the whole country, and it's different. It's like I'm teaming up with guys like maybe I was just a rival with a few months ago, like, I don't know, like me and Liam Peterson, like we're really cool, really, really good friends. Pitcher at Florida. He was on the USA team also. And it was like, of course, when they played at Georgia, it's like, that's our rivalry weekend. It's like, I want to get this guy the best as possible. But
you want bragging rights with your friends always.
Yeah, of course. But then it's like, we get to USA, we're on the same team. Then especially it's like for USA, it's like, all right, we're here for the country. It's like, I'm behind you, you're behind me. Let's go get this done.
When you're with Team USA, I mean, like, I know how I would be, but I would just almost feel like it's such a surreal moment. Like, you almost have to like pinch yourself to know, like, is this real? Like, am I actually, suited up with, the stars and the stripes and the red, white, and blue, and then I'm hearing the anthem for the first time in this uniform. Like, it's got to be just surreal, and just you think about all the opportunities of playing baseball and how you got there, and it probably is emotionally like a little overwhelming
That's you,
at
Daniel.
some
I'm
point.
sitting there judging and figuring out if I'm the best team or the best person on the team wearing red, white, and blue. I'm measuring myself with the talent.
No, I mean,
I mean,
I'm sure it's a mixture of everything.
if I'm being 100% honest, as soon as I got there, like Wes says, like it really is exciting, like to know what we're there for. But it's kind of like I'm there for a reason. Like I'm supposed to be there, and it's like I was excited to just showcase and just go play. I mean, of course, every single one of us are really good. We're the best at our age in the nation, at D1 college baseball level.
The craziest year, Trey, was he asked Jason Savicool from Maryland a couple years ago. The 1 year that he was on, and it wasn't Dylan Cruz year that he was a senior in high school, it was a junior in high school. But I never expected this answer, especially because Dylan was the guest of the show. But Daniel asked him, I don't know who the best player on the team was. He goes, I want to know who the best player was that didn't make the team.
Mm-hmm.
And when he threw Dylan Cruz out, it just told you how stacked that team was. That, a guy who would end up being Golden Spikes, as good as he was, there was a year where the roster was so stacked, he didn't make the cut.
All right.
So when we talk about those players like that, who impressed you? Was there anybody that impressed you on that team?
No, I wouldn't say particularly impressed. Kind of knew like the guys were pretty like good, talented. I knew most of the guys. Been keeping up with most of them throughout the year, so I wouldn't say really like shocked or impressed. I was more so just excited to see what guys were going to do.
Yeah, definitely. For you end up being, the number one player from the state of Georgia. Was Georgia always the place to go, or were there options when recruitment came? Because I could imagine if you're the number one player in the state, there's got to be 49 other states knocking on the door trying to say, hey, we come out here. But like, what was it even worth their time, or was Georgia just it?
Yeah, so actually I committed. It was the summer of the year that got shut down early for COVID. Georgia was actually number 2 that year in the nation. We were on the way to play Florida when everything got shut down. We were number 2 and they were number 1. I came on my visit, I want to say about a month or 2 after that. And my aunt actually came with me when I played basketball here. And honestly, I just kind of fell in love with Georgia. I didn't even make it to any of my other visits. This is my first one. And it was like, it took me about 2 weeks and I made my decision. I didn't want to go anywhere else.
I want to know, Jim, what those phone calls were like to those other schools. Hey, sorry, thanks, but no thanks. I took my visit over here. I'm not even going to bother coming.
I mean, we have a lot of that. And, until he comes back, a lot of guys, they'll entertain the phone call, but like to his point, they don't even make the visit. They already know where they're going. And to me, that it's almost a good courtesy thing, right? Because you don't want to waste their time.
Yeah, it's so like when you go to, if he was from any other state other than in Georgia and Atlanta, where there's just such a hotbed and like there's so many good players, they could all go to Georgia if they wanted to. But like when you commit and you go to Georgia, it's like, wow, like out of all the places I could, if he told me he went somewhere else, I could understand that too. But being that you are in the ATL and you commit to Georgia, man, it's got to feel good when you ink that paper and you're like, all right, I'm putting the red and the black on, let's go.
Yeah, it's 1-on-1. I was always a Georgia fan too, so it was definitely, like you said, a surreal moment committing to Georgia. It just kind of felt like it just all came together. It's like a dream come true, and it's not like I wanted to per se go to Georgia, but it was kind of I could see myself in the red and black and white.
Yeah, so let me ask you, our other host, Randy, he's actually a Tennessee fan, but he says and he's been to all the places. He said Athens is the most underrated college town in America. He says it's every bit as good as anywhere else. So, I mean, is he right? Is Athens everything you want it to be and more?
Yeah, by far. I mean, it's like I was telling my mom the other day, like it's built for college students. Like if there wasn't a college here, it would be one of the weirdest towns ever. Like it's really weird. Roads are really narrow. But everything is kind of close. Like you don't have to go too far for anything. It's like kind of like everything's in a 20-mile radius, and everybody in that radius, for the most part, about 70% go to UGA. So it's a really close community, and I would say that's probably the hugest thing. Like it's like nobody's really above anyone in any sort, like athletes or anybody just in the social life. I would say it's definitely one of one.
Yeah, speaking of athletics, man, the football team obviously elite. I've seen that stadium enough times on TV. What's it like being in there for a game?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's electric. Especially the great SEC games where it's like you feel like a different energy in the atmosphere. I mean, obviously for baseball games it's like that too, but football fields, football fans, it gets loud in Sanford. I mean, we sit in the student section, we get great seats, and it's from all day, like your ears are just
At least y'all win, more of those games than lose. Because Daniel, you remember when I went to LSU Alabama this year? It was loud. It was 102,000. We got ran out the stadium, and it wasn't very fun anymore. It got very quiet.
I'm glad we won all our home games.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't lose at home much. We don't either at night. That was a rare thing, but it still hurt my feelings, as you can see months down the road. But with baseball, man, batted .353 with 12 home runs, 40 RBIs, .699 slugging percentage in 42 games, made 34 starts at 5 different positions: right field, left field, third base, first base, DH. We were joking about it earlier, but Trey, I'm willing to bet if they asked you to gear up and play catcher, you'd do it.
I'm not even gonna lie. That's one of the few I just have to say. I couldn't. Our pitcher stuff is way too good.
Hey, a few years ago, we had Evan Russell on here. When his coach had him do it, he was one of the most elite left fielders you'd find. And next thing you know, he found himself putting on the gear. And hey, I'll be honest with you, Trey, he came on here and said he was having trouble sleeping at night because he knew he'd have to catch Chase Burns and Ben Joyce and all those other guys the next day.
That's how it would be. I couldn't.
So, you are versatile though, man. Like, is that something, a lot of guys do that growing up. They play a bunch of different places. Was that something you did prior to coming, or is it something, that you were asked to do last year and you were just more than willing to do whatever it took for the team?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of play around at a few positions when you're little, but no, I was usually in the infield all the time. And yeah, last year was just kind of like a learning stepping stone in the outfield, and just getting extra reps, learning how to catch balls on the wall, read the warning track, communicate to the person next to me, et cetera, backing up bases. So yeah, last year was definitely my first time like playing outfield. Yes.
What is it like? Obviously, you're in practice, and you're out there taking reps probably during BP, just trying to get a feel for tracking balls in the outfield. But what is it like the first time like you go out there in a game, or is it a little nervousness, or you're like, oh, I got this because I've done it?
No, it's never any nervousness. We prepare. As a team, we prepare them. We prepare so much, and like for me, like I over prepare as like that's where you get your confidence from. I just feel like when I do things so much, there's no way I should mess it up. It's just like clockwork. It's like
I think the athleticism matters a little bit more because Charlie came on here and said when he get out there sometimes he'd feel the nerves, but I mean Charlie would have no problem. He's a multi-time guest, would have no problem admitting that his athleticism isn't the best on the team by no means. But I think that has something to do with it, Trey. I feel like you can cover a lot of ground for sure with your speed. But I read the stats. You're a freshman All-American, all SEC freshman. Did you feel good about how you performed individually? I know the team didn't make it to Omaha like hoping for and expected. But you individually, do you feel like, you were able to do as much as you wanted?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for when I got in, I definitely feel like I made the best of the opportunities I had, which is what I can control, of course. And I mean, we won a lot of games. Of course, I would have wanted to get to Omaha, which is the one goal we really have this year, which is what I believe our floor is on all of us too. But yeah, I would say I'm definitely what's the word I'm looking for? I am definitely satisfied with my freshman year. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I want to talk about the coach for a minute because, as an LSU fan, I'm very familiar with Wes Johnson. And, with this show, having guys like Paul Skeens, Ty Floyd, others come on and talk about what Wes was able to do for them, just as a pitching coach. But we know he's a baseball mind altogether. Just how awesome of a coach is he? And, just talking about what he did with y'all last year, having y'all knocking on the doorstep of Omaha. And then depending on what rankings you look at, every one of them, though, having you guys in the top 10, how do you feel about what he's been able to do and what he means to the team?
Yeah. I mean, he's just what we like to call, he's just big league. Like, he runs everything at a really high level. We're held at a really high standard. It's kind of like, like you hear like a lot of guys say, like, this guy, like, you really want him. He works really hard, but it's kind of like that's our standard. Like, it's kind of like it's what we're here to do. We're here to work hard. Everybody does that in the pros. You look over, that guy's working hard. The next guy's working hard. It's not about kind of saying like that's an incentive, working hard. So like just small things like that. We talk about a lot of winning. We talk about a lot of focus. He pays a lot of attention to detail. Of course, we're going to be talented, but it's just who can focus longer at the end of the day. And he always tells us like Paul Skeens, he said, like, the big leaguers that he's coached in college or the big leaguers that he's had, so they can just focus on a task for a really long time. And having him as a head coach to be able to tell that to a team is just, I feel like, overpowering. Just kind of like having that mindset to focus pitch to pitch, out to out, and be really talented and not make many mistakes is what makes us better, for sure.
Yeah, no, he's an elite level big league coach. And that's why when we had Alton Davis on here, man, I'm so excited because, like I said, from a pitching aspect, he's been able to mold guys in. You can be talented, but you got to be able to have coaching to be able to teach you all the other things that can make you a great pitcher. And when I see a guy with the arsenal like Alton Davis, man, and he goes to Georgia, I'm just like stoked. And even guys like JT Quinn, it's not a knock on Ole Miss pitching staff. It ain't what y'all got there at Georgia. And I know guys like that are going to thrive. So I'm excited for them to be under West. But, asking you this, y'all did come up just short from Omaha. What did you learn from freshman year, that you may have not known and now know going into this next season that will help, make y'all take that next step and go to Omaha?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of knew every game mattered last year, but kind of just hammering that every single out matters this year from a hitter standpoint. Just kind of hammering like great defense as a team. We finished third to last in the SEC in defense, but we finished first overall in hitting from an average standpoint. Second in home runs, I want to say, by less than 2 or 3 from Tennessee before we got eliminated. And so, yeah, just being able to.
Fairness, y'all playing a bigger part.
Correct.
I was at Lindsey Nelson for a lot of games. They went way over the fence, but hey, the dynamics don't lie. It is a small ballpark, so it's always fun to mess with those guys. But yeah,
ain't too big either.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, man, y'all are ready, and it's crazy, right? Like we talked to Charlie and Daniel. What we always say, you want to leave a place better than when you got there, right? Charlie feels phenomenal about this team. He said, I think this team, even without me and Collins, are like they're gonna go to Omaha. And it was, how Charlie is. Charlie's not the Lions type, Daniel. Like, I believed it. And I look at that roster and I fully think they can. Daniel, I was looking at the schedule. I love to root against Arkansas. I saw they were hosting Arkansas and I thought maybe I should just go there and put on all the red and black I can and just boo Arkansas to death. What do you think?
I mean, if you want to go and support Trey, knock yourself out, but
Georgia.
don't go to be petty. All right.
Oh, that's not
Go
fun.
and support our boys. Don't go be petty. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
Well, Trey, do me a favor and hit multiple home runs that weekend because I'm petty.
Oh yeah, for sure. We will. We definitely will.
Yeah, no, I was, looking at the schedule and I saw that, but all jokes aside, Daniel, man, when you look at how this kid, shape out, seeing them host A&M on the back end, I mean, dude, you can't ask for a better series to end the season.
Correct.
I mean, you know what it could come down to? It could come down to who's the best team in the country.
I mean, I'll put it to you this way, Trey. Like you can, I'd say you can follow my tweets, but I deleted Twitter to save my mental health. But Daniel will tell you, I said, give me Tennessee, LSU, and A&M against the field. And somebody said, is there anybody else that you think can win it? And I said, yeah, Georgia. I said, outside of that, I said I give nobody else a shot, which that's, kind of rude. Everybody has a shot, but I usually feel like there's certain teams. And so I say that to say, Trey, we're pretty good at being a good judge of talent and being right on the show. And I got Georgia as one of the only four. That don't mean they are the only four, Daniel, but it does.
True. Very true.
But go ahead and play the game. I'm done rambling.
All right. Trey, I will say this. He if you want him to come, all you got to do is say it. He'll be there.
For sure.
Say his name and he'll appear. And,
I'm
if Arkansas, if it's an Arkansas game, bro, like you don't even have to.
Well, I already made promise to
definitely
Alton I'd come. So, I mean, I'm going to be there anyway. It'd probably be better not to do the Arkansas series, Daniel. I'll get myself in trouble. I told JJ I would ride up for the FGCU series, which that might be a bloodbath. They're a pretty good team, but I don't know. Georgia's going to be looking to make a statement early.
I mean,
all year, early, mid-season, late, postseason, parade in Athens. We're making a statement the whole time.
The narrow streets are going to have a parade. You heard it.
A parade on Milledge.
I mean, that can't beat that, right? I mean, that's the ultimate goal. But Trey, let's get into our game. It's called This or That. It's very easy. I give you two options. You choose one option or the other. Can't say both. Can't say neither. Just got to go with your heart and go with your gut.
I'm going to win whatever game. So
see, that's the beauty of this. There is no. You just pick one. Pick one or the other. Very very easy. Jim, This or That. Who is it brought to you by?
Man, Chinook Cedar, 8 flavors mild to wild. They are the best in the game, so they are winning. But I got a fun one for them, Daniel. Which is the better card, Trey? This Charlie Condon 1 of 1, or this Charlie Condon Dylan Cruz 1 of 1?
Charlie Condon 1.
That's a competition.
Charlie Condon 1 and 1 by itself.
He said no, Dylan Cruz.
He's with no hesitation. Like
I mean, like we know how good Dylan is, but like Charlie.
Look, we put the screws to Charlie on Pros and Joes the other day. We had him and Dolander on it. Dolander is probably going to start the season in Colorado. So my boy, who's the host of Pros and Joes, Mike, he's a Cubs fan. So their series is August 29th. Mm-hmm. And we told Charlie he has the August 29th deadline to be up to the pro team, or we're going to be mad. So he was like, I mean, that's a lot of pressure. And ironically, Mike goes, Dylan Cruz did it in one season. So there we go.
I mean,
it's coming for a shot.
But here's the thing. What Dylan Cruz didn't have a G on that jersey either. So that happens.
He's also in the Colorado organization, Daniel, and we know they need help. So they need to get Charlie up quick.
For sure. I mean, when you're talking about guys that can hit moonshots, I mean that's a best place that I could think of being.
Mm-hmm.
Like let me go hit there. I might come close to hitting it out of the
that's why when all them folks were upset that from the Rockies fans they wanted Chase Burns, I was like, man, y'all got a much better deal. Just try, because we know Chase is elite. That's not what I'm saying. But give me a hitter in Coors Field.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Watch balls fly. All right, Trey, let's get to it. First question. Coffee or energy drink?
I can't say neither. No. I like actually, I don't know, energy drink. Let's go energy drink.
All right. What I'm gathering is you don't like either of those.
Yeah, I mean, no, not really.
What is your hydration of choice? Just plain water?
Or aloe water, or like Gatorade.
Man, I tell you what, he's
Lemonade.
lemonade. See, thank you. Tell me something. Tell me something. All right, lemonade it is. Okay, for breakfast, bacon or sausage?
Bacon.
He said neither. I'd kick him off the show.
I mean, for real. Like, this might be the only question where I would like almost entertain both. Like,
I'll go bacon.
You'll like this next one, Daniel.
All right. In regards to hats, cowboy hat or baseball hat?
Like just plain up, straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I mean, I seen the pics. The boy can rock. He can rock a cowboy hat.
Baseball hat.
All right, baseball. All right. Movies, action movies or dramas?
Action.
Action. What's the last movie you seen?
Last movie I watched was. It's a great question. What is the last movie I saw? I don't remember. I have no clue.
Oh,
I'll tell you the last movie I
coffee or
watched.
energy drinks or watch movies. Interesting.
I don't. I actually.
They run a tight ship there in Georgia. I tell you what, man.
I just don't watch a movie. I don't know why. It's weird.
Revert back to when he
Mufasa, the new Mufasa.
Oh man, how is it?
It's good. It's really good.
It wasn't good enough for him to remember. He
Clearly,
forgot he watched it.
clearly. I bet it's better than Long Legs, though.
Man, this girl said last movie she seen was a horror movie that we ain't never heard of, and then we seen it had like a 3.8 on IMDb.
It was terrible, absolutely terrible. All right, when it comes to sunflower seeds, Biggs or Chinook, and this is a trick question.
No, Chinook.
Yeah,
we have Chinook in our life.
So does LSU, but them jabronis supposed to be on boys came on here talking about Biggs.
Talking about Biggs, get me out of here. I almost turned off the interview. I was like, I ain't listening, you know.
I mean, it's right there. Like, that's why I said trick question. Like, you got to at least lie. I mean, it's right there in the corner, the logo. Like, you can't actually come on here and say that. You got to at least lie on that one. Tell me afterward that you were lying.
Because let me tell you something. I've been around the game for a very long time. And in the short amount of time that Chinook has been in the game, they have done more for baseball than I've ever seen Biggs, David, or any other jabroni sunflower seed company do. And like, sunflower seeds are a staple of baseball. They're at there's not a single baseball event.
When I asked Charlie if he wanted to be ambassador last year, man, he didn't even hesitate. Like, he jumped all over it. More times than not, Daniel, I send that text that says, "Hey, do you want to be on the team?" Yes, right back.
Yep. Chinook team's where it's at. All right, uniforms. Big one. Red or black? By the way, this is my favorite two colors mixed together, red and black. What are you going with? Red or black?
I like our blacks. I like our
He
blacks.
gets home runs in both. That's all I know.
The blacks look good under the lights.
I was fully expecting you to be like, well, you know, like, I'm just so confident in everything that I do. I drop bombs in any uniform. Like, it really don't matter.
But I can't. You said I can't.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I expected you to try to say. And I was going to force your hand on it. But hey, I can dig black. Black's where it's at, man. All these alternate uniforms, which are like a black schemed uniform. Like, there are some, and LSU is one of them, like very traditionalist, very like, don't even bring that up in here. But like, at least like black is part of the color scheme for Georgia. So it's like makes it a little bit easier. But even like at Memphis, at my school, like it took a while to get black uniforms.
But
People,
Daniel, if you remember
arms about
Mississippi State, those Sunday blacks they had were awesome, but they went away from them because so many fans complained that they just wanted the traditional maroon. And it's like, those uniforms were awesome. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I wish we had a black on black.
University of Tampa has a black on black, and that's sweet. It is sweet, but
that's why y'all won a national championship while you were coaching there.
I mean,
the unis.
I mean, they
are ranked number one to start the season again.
Yeah. We're not
have the one next to you when the season starts. Just out of curiosity.
Well, when you win the national championship the previous year, and like it's a lot. It's pretty
you
easy
really
to be
weren't that
ranked
good. So
preseason.
what we just found out, Trey, I've never actually said this. So you actually weren't that good of a pitching coach. You just the team's so good you could just stand there and hold a clipboard.
The talent is the talent, baby. Like, hey, X's and O's are great, but Jimmy's and Joe's are way better. So, you know, you got to have the right guys for sure. Who hits better bombs, you or Charlie Condon, your boy?
Charlie.
Oh, I really thought he was gonna say himself. I really did.
Look, I've never seen Charlie have a center fielder mad like you did. So,
but I'll tell you this, Trey, I was in South Carolina at that series, actually with JJ, the guy we've been talking about, when Charlie broke the record. And I mean, dude, that ball left in such a hurry. And I just watched as the South Carolina fans, they didn't get mad. They marveled at him, Daniel. Charlie's a show, man.
He almost hit it scoreboard.
Jeez. I mean, when you that's not that this is about South Carolina, but that's one of the things I can appreciate about a team like South Carolina. Very knowledgeable fans who get the magnitude of that home run. Mm-hmm. And they
what's crazy is I thought we got that ball. Collins and Charlie went back to back right there, Daniel. Mm-hmm. And Jackson acquired Collins' ball and not Condon's. I mean, not to try to sound disappointed about getting any home run ball, but I thought we had the record ball, Daniel, to be honest.
I mean, I'd be disappointed.
And you know how he got it? Jackson doing Jackson. My son can acquire anything, Trey. He went to the groundskeeper and just straight up did the little cute face and asked him and got it, which he's done it a bunch of, because people are like, how do y'all do it? Must be nice to be your son. And I'm like, bro, it has nothing to do with me. That dude does everything on his own.
I'm actually disappointed. I'm out of all the balls I've seen this kid get, he couldn't get that one. The one that means more than any of them.
Hey, man, can't win them all. But the thing is, Charlie talked about it. He has it now. So, I mean, it would have one way or the other just went to Charlie anyway.
For sure. All right. Next question. This is a big question. We ask everybody this question. 5 years in jail or 10 years in a coma? I'm telling you, this will make you think. You could go the shorter, more arduous journey, or you could go the longer, arguably easier journey.
Like, how am I going to eat in a coma?
Bro, why are you asking these trivial questions? I mean, I'm not a doctor.
They'll feed you through the straw.
Through a tube.
Give me 5 years in jail.
Oh,
he says he wins at everything, Daniel. He's going to survive jail, bro.
Yeah, I can at least socialize, see people. Yeah, I can do jail. No, I've never been to jail. Never. I've never been closed.
Oh, that's not what he's saying. He knows you haven't because you said jail. If you'd been, we had one guest who's actually been in jail, and we didn't know he had been. We had a top 10 Bellator fighter on here, and he looked at Daniel and said, "I've been to jail. I ain't never going back."
Ain't never going back. So
I've never sniffed. I don't even know, honestly, like what it looks like in there.
That was probably where the reality hit me, Daniel. When I had a dude who could mangle me, tell me he wouldn't go back, that told me everything I need to know.
Yeah. All these people talking about they want to go to jail. That's the story I would tell them. Be like, look, if you can't fight and you haven't fought, you don't need to be in jail. Like,
he actually said the worst part was, Trey, he said the food. He said, man, you can't survive on the food.
Nah,
you gotta use the bartering system in there and get the commissary.
But I am interested on the last question, Daniel. I think there's a chance we may have our 14th guest to go the one way.
All right, we'll see. All right, Trey, last question. This is a money question. All right, would you rather be the number one pick in the draft, or would you rather win a national championship this year? You gotta have one.
Not even close. I want this national championship more than anything. I'm not even close.
I was hoping we'd have a guy say the number one pick.
It's not even close.
$10 million.
The number one pick with ink in your name, 10 mil. And that was just last year. So this year, inflation and tariffs and all the things that go into it. Probably got to be more.
That was a question we didn't ask him, Daniel. We have a lot of guys who are high up on the draft boards. They just came out with that list that came out a couple of days ago. I think it had you as the fourth best prospect in college baseball. Do you ever look at those lists, or do you not care?
No, that's crazy. That's actually news to me that you just said that.
Yeah, they had you. And who was it, Daniel? Who's the only person that Godbout was the only one on that list that we
Henry.
Yeah. But we'd had the rest. But yeah, I actually agreed with the list as far as maybe not the order, but as far as the 5 guys, Daniel, I definitely think that list was solid. But yeah, Trey, you're going in the top 10. Just lock this thing up. You ain't got to think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't even have to worry about it, bro. All right, man. It's Trey. It's been awesome having you on. Awesome getting to know you and getting your story out there. Yeah, absolutely. We wish you guys a lot of success. Stay healthy.
Thank
Obviously,
you.
no injuries, and that goes for everybody because we got you guys. We think pretty highly of y'all. We've got you guys ranked up there, maybe a little bit higher than some, just because we know what you guys are about. We've had interviews with a few folks, and we know what the coaching staff brings. We know what the players are going to bring. And to be honest, seeing you guys play last year, we're totally bought in. We're impressed with what Georgia has. And when you have guys like Charlie Condon come on and tell you, hey, you got to watch out for these guys. You got to put some stock into that and you got to listen. But man, we wish you success. If there's anything we can do for you along the way, let us know. But before you bounce, anything you want to plug, promote, put out there, say hi, what you got?
Hey there. I don't think so. Hey, Mom.
There it is. Hey, Mom. We haven't seen a Hey Mom in a while. I mean,
I don't know if we had one since season 1 with Kay Belosa, honestly.
Nice and
but he was actually trying to bounce back, Daniel. If you remember, I just remember it as myself. I said, you remember he said he didn't get an athletic spec of anything from his mom, and you said, man, you can't throw mom under the bus like that, bro.
Can't do it. First game. When's the first game? I know you know.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Yep. Who we got? Where are we going? Where are we at?
And at UNC Wilmington against Quinnipiac, 12 o'clock noon day.
Early game on Friday.
Yep. Hey, Quinnipiac. Let me tell you something. You better celebrate Valentine's Day on the 13th because when the Georgia Bulldogs come in on Valentine's Day, they're going to wreck your life. You're going to have a broken heart. Your girls are going to break up with you when they see how bad y'all get beat by the Georgia Bulldogs. So just get ready.
Better be a 10-run limit set. I tell you what, it's going to be cold there. I just realized where he said. Anyway, I'm glad I'm going to be in Baton Rouge. It's going to be a nice 80, I bet, on the 14th.
All right, Trey, we appreciate you, man. And like I said, anything we can do for you, reach out to us, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. That's Trey Phelps, everybody. If you like hearing Trey's story or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please share the podcast on Facebook, retweet us on X, listen and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. Go over to YouTube right now. Click subscribe, click notifications. That way you're one of the first to know when we drop new content. Jim has categorized all the sports, all the schools to make it very easy for you to reference whatever it is that you want to find. It's there.
I mean, honestly, Daniel, it's one of those things that is out of sight, out of mind. It's a game changer because let's say we have this episode and Georgia fan says, hey, I want to see Alton Davis. Cool. You only got to scroll back so far, but hey, I want to see Charlie Condon. You got to scroll through a lot. So just try to make it easier for fans to find their guys.
More user-friendly, and we got college baseball, college gymnastics, professional baseball. We've got grid. I mean, we've got volleyball. We've got it all. I'm telling you, there's something for everyone there. Go check it out. Jim, start of a really good week. One more week.
I'll tell you, I was looking at it to be, you bring up the topic with Trey just about Black History Month and, African-American players. Never was intentional. The schedule fell the way it did, but tomorrow we got Jacob Walsh from Oregon, who's obviously in that category. But then the next one, because we have 2 gymnasts in a row, but Anthony Ianson from LSU. So 3 in a row, not even planned, even the slightest bit. So it just kind of fell. So, I think that's just the way it was meant to be. But we got 2 gymnasts in there. We got, Jaden Silvers from Cal, Lily Peterson from Oklahoma. And then after Anthony, we come back around to Chris Stamos from Tennessee. And that one's going to be an interesting one, Daniel, because he's got a story, man. He's obviously moved on from Tennessee, is playing pro ball, but his family, man, lost the house in the California wildfires, lost everything. And so Tennessee Vol Nation, last I had saw was up to like 75,000 they had given helping his family. So that'll be a good story to get. So, man, a lot of amazing content on deck. We're booked through March, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. If y'all like hearing that, just stick around because there's going to be plenty more on deck coming your way. Jim, let's get out of here. For Off the Bench podcast, always remember strong bodies, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We're out.